Our next panel will be the Amazon MGM Studios film Unstoppable, which tells the amazing true story of the collegiate wrestler Anthony Robles, who defied unbelievable odds to become a national champion. With us today for the panel is director William Goldenberg, the real life Judy Robles, and I usually bring out one at a time, but I just thought this was so cool. Actor Jarrell Jerome and his real-life counterpart, Anthony Robles. All right. Before we get into questions, here is the trailer.
So why do you do this? Why do you wrestle?
When people look at me, the first thing they see is what's missing. If I win, having one leg won't be the most important thing about me.
The champ is here! Celebration dinner for Anthony!
The mom told me about that Drexel scholarship.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna keep my options open.
When you could go to school for free? Hey, you heard what your son said? He's gonna keep his options open.
Every big college has seen you wrestle, and so far, Drexel's the only one that made the offer.
Have you heard from ASU? The best college wrestlers in the world go there. Anthony.
The best I could offer you is to walk on.
I wish you the best, bud.
Listen up. You're gonna have to beat out men who were recruited to be on the Arizona State University wrestling team. You're gonna have to prove everyone wrong just to make the team.
Hey, sure you don't want to run track?
Pulling me back, you're pulling me down.
You are 6 months behind on the mortgage.
It's a perfect opportunity for Anthony to pitch in.
I'm not letting him quit wrestling, and I'm not letting him quit school.
I ain't got a choice, I can't just...
I got you. I'm here. Anthony, your greatest opponent, never gonna be somebody standing across from you on a mat. What's all this?
Dear Mr. Robles, I'm in the 3rd grade, and you're my hero. I wanted to tell you how much I look up to you. You make people believe in something.
Surprised to see you.
Don't be.
When they see you, they don't see someone who's missing a leg. They see someone who is unstoppable.
I'm not done yet.
I wish you...
You can show them that anything is possible.
Oh my God, is that guy missing a leg?
That's my son. What, you're not gonna cheer?
I used to be angry all the time, but I'm not angry anymore. So what are you?
Awesome trailer. So I introduced this movie as Anthony's, but this is Anthony and Judy's movie, honestly. And I just because you went through so much as well, and to make sure he could overcome, achieve his dream. I was curious, you know, it's so cliched to say like a story made for Hollywood, but the movies. But this one I was watching, I was like, how did this not get made sooner? Honestly, it's just such an incredible story. When the producers kind of came to the two of you, what were your initial thoughts? Were you anxious, excited? Like, what did you think, like, wanted people to see when they were telling your story?
When Billy initially came to us, we were really excited. But as we thought about it more, we're like, wow, the world's going to see our story. We realized that it wouldn't just be the victory moments. You know, it wouldn't just be the happy times. It would be those painful moments and the things that we weren't really sure about how we wanted to open up discussing and sharing. But luckily with Billy, he made it so easy. You know, he said, you know, we want to make you proud of this film. And he listened to our thoughts and our opinions and our concerns. And so that fear, that anxiety as we were going through it, it became something that we were just excited about telling the story, because we knew that in order for this to be relatable to as many people as possible, we had to share that pain. We had to share those vulnerable moments, because that's what was going to inspire people to overcome their challenges.
I was terrified, truthfully. It's scary because you see the messes that you had made in your life, and you see, you know, all the things that you did wrong, and then now a lot of more people are going to be seeing that. But it took me trusting my son first, because of what he's done and the journey that he's been on, and the inspiration that he's been to me. I mean, my son is magnificent, and I'm just like pleased that everybody else gets to see that in him. But then working with such an amazing group of people, like Billy has just been so respectful and kind, and Jennifer put so much detail and care and love and respect in the role of Judy, and Jarrell to bond with Anthony as he did and to make sure that it was accurate. It's been a blessing to us all. A terrifying blessing, but like my son said, we're just really happy with the outcome. It's very authentic, it's very true to us, but we needed to show the pain. And the pain has helped me heal and my son heal, and if we can share that with others who might find inspiration in it, then that is the whole point of this.
Billy, you in this film, you give nods to Rocky. Like, I find that fascinating. I mean, while we all love Rocky for the fights and the training montages, that film is great because of the stuff outside of the ring. And I think this film works because of this. Once Anthony leaves the ring and the stuff at home, like how important were those, especially those family dinner sequences, in terms of getting engagement from the audience when you went in? What did you guys talk about when you were putting those scenes together?
Well, yeah, you're right. The dinner scenes are sort of the centerpiece, really, of all the family dynamic. And my intention with everything in the film really was to make it as real and authentic as possible, to put the audience at that table with the characters. I wanted people to be feel like a fly on the wall. So we shot a whole film handheld, especially those much more rough kind of looking in the family scenes, just to make it feel like it's grabbed or glimpsed. And we talked about making sure Bobby's character of Rick was a three-dimensional character, to see where the love there was. There was love there. There was a push-pull. Like, is this guy a good guy? Is he not a good guy? Is he trying to be funny, but it's not really funny? That's walking that line. Was very important, so you could see why there was a relationship and why everybody stayed together for as long as they did. But I was blessed to have an unbelievable cast, led by Jarrell, and he's such a fine actor and has the physical ability to do all the difficult physical things, but also has the sensitive side and can, and that's kind of the way I see Anthony. I mean, he's such a beast on the mat, but the nicest human being I think I've met in person.
Jarrell, you famously won an Emmy for playing Corey Wise and The Way They See Us. I'm curious, I love that role too. I'm curious, I always am interested from an actor perspective, like when you're playing real life people, do you get more excited? Is there like an anxiousness? Tell us how that process goes, because you've done it twice now and awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I get more scared, far more scared. There's a certain pressure that's there, as an actor, when you're just playing a part that isn't quote unquote real, you get to pull from experience, pull from what you know, kind of create choices, make it up. But when you're playing somebody real, and this is awkward saying this in front of you, but when you're playing somebody real, there's a certain guideline there, and there's a structure you follow, and there's a lot of information to be had and held, and there's a justice that has to be done. So when I met Anthony 5 years ago, actually, we've been doing this since before COVID, I knew it was something where, all right, I'm not just the actor playing some guy. This is a friendship, a brotherhood, and this is something that I want to make sure I get done the right way. And Anthony was my body double and my stunt double the entire way. So, yeah. This man was doing 13-hour days and being doused in makeup for 2 hours a day. So it's one thing to have a YouTube clip or a 20-minute interview with the guy you're playing, but it's another thing to spend months training and on the mat and wrestling and learning from him, and then watching him experience and grow as well as me.
So I wrestled in 8th grade one time, and it was the hardest, to this day. I played football, basketball. It was the hardest training in my life that I've ever done, which is why I only did it for 1 grade. So for the three of you, honestly, not that you train necessarily, but for the training, Jarrell, like, were you going through the same process to get into that sort of Anthony mindset? And then I got to talk about those wrestling sequences. They were seamless. Like, you have 2 legs right now. I was amazed because like it was that real on the thing. Can you talk about how the three of you came together in choreographing those sequences as well? You first with the training.
Me?
Yeah, the training part. Like, yeah. how
That
did
terrible, terrible time in my life. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, physically and mentally. But again, having Anthony as my actual coach, and we studied with his coach from college, Brian Stith, it just like, I don't know, when you look at him and he's like, you got this. What can I say? So, yeah, but just as a person now, I have grown such an appreciation for the sport and an understanding of the sport, the camaraderie, the family, and I'm just excited for the whole community to watch the film.
Well, the first thing I did when we decided to make the film was call Anthony and say, will you do some of your own wrestling? Because he's such an extraordinary athlete and is such a unique athlete that I felt like to be really authentic and to make the wrestling community proud, and that he would have to do some of it because, you know, I think he's the only person who can wrestle in this way. So, but then Jarrell got so good that it was, I think it kind of surprised me actually, but he did get so good.
What I do is what I do.
So what we would do, we would shoot each take, and we would alternate between the two of them, and then so depending on who was tired, and go, okay, you know, and then I think there was kind of like a little, you know, I can do better than that. I can do better than that. You know, so they would kind of one up each other, and which made it all better and more intense. And they're wrestling 100%. I mean, it's choreographed, and Anthony and Brian, his coach, choreographed all the matches. But they're wrestling full on. Every wrestler is a Division I college wrestler or an ex-D1 college wrestler. So, and then our visual effects team did just an incredible job of, you know, either, you know, putting Anthony's face on Jarrell's body, or you know, or digitally removing Jarrell's right leg, and it just came out beautifully. I mean, and you know, credit to our visual effects company.
So Judy never makes it. Judy never makes it into the ring, so to speak, but she does deliver a submission when she heads into the bank, which I actually think is my favorite scene in the movie. Like when she goes in and just tells this, like, lays out this paperwork so that she can make sure things can move on with Anthony's dream. Can you talk about that scene? Because I did find it like really important to the film to give Judy a win, and like it was important to her as well. And then Judy, I'm just curious your thoughts on that sequence, because I really thought Jen knocked it out of the park.
Oh, I think Jen did an amazing job throughout. Every single part, the sadness, the joy, and the pain. But I do appreciate that she showed a lot of strength, because I think that was a significant moment, and not just that moment, but it was hard. It was a challenge, but she kept pushing through. So I think that showed me a lot of, like, you don't look back and see, you know, the things that you did right. You usually look at the things you did wrong, but looking at the strength and the growth that became, you know, me as I sit here, which is very strange to say, but the way Jen showed more of me than just this battered and sad woman, you know. So I appreciate that about her a lot.
So, you know, I don't get into the specifics, but I would say right now the country is looking for hope in a way. I think that's like lightly saying that. But Anthony, I'm curious, like when people do finally get a chance to see this film, what do you hope that, not to repeat myself, but like what is the thing you hope they achieve when the film ends and they walk out of that theater or on wherever they watch it?
I believe that when people watch this film, they're going to walk away knowing that we all wrestle with a challenge in life. You know, whether it's physical, whether it's an opponent out there that's waiting for you, mental, relationship, something in the world, there's always an obstacle. There's always going to be a challenge. But that word unstoppable, it doesn't mean you don't face a challenge. It means that you react to it in the right way. You have the right mentality as you approach it. Because there's always going to be a list of reasons why you can't, what you don't have, you know, what can hold you back. But if you focus on those things and you prepare yourself to fall short. And luckily, my mom, she chose to not allow me to use this as a challenge, to not allow me to use this as an excuse. You know, you can't let your challenge become an excuse. You have to say, okay, this is what I can do. This is what I'm blessed with. These are my opportunities. And you move forward. And as you do that throughout every single opponent in your life, you learn that, you know, I'm stronger than I think I am. I can do more than I think I can do. And that's what unstoppable is, just pushing yourself one step at a time and figuring out, you know what, I can do more than I think I can right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Unstoppable.